Good evening, Speed Gaming 2. Welcome to the Past Randomizer Casual Boots Tournament, first ever. And we are still relatively early in the groups round, but we've got a great match for you tonight. Good old BrewersFanJP, longtime member of the community, versus a newer player, but one of our admins, Dr. Earworm. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm Drossi. I'm here with Arya Stark. How are you doing as we get off in Uncle's house counting to 30?
I'm doing well, Drossi. Happy to be here for should be an exciting Kaz Boots match. They come up with the shield in Link's house. It's an early rematch too.
Oh, did they already play their first match?
They did. JP beat Dr. Earworm on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
JP's taken his first win. Dr. Earworm's off to a 0-2 start, but there's still a lot of pool play to go.
Yeah, it's double round robin groups of 4, so everyone has to play 6 matches, and then the top 2 out of the 4 advance to brackets.
And even though it's a newer tournament, there are pretty much no soft groups here. Every group is pretty stacked with talented players.
Some more so than others. Like tomorrow we're featuring Gem versus Blaine.
Oh, a couple decent players from what I've heard.
And hey, since neither runner checked pendants that checked the map before going into Hyrule Castle, let's get a prediction on pendants. So we got that underway. What do you think, Arya?
I'm hoping for an interesting seed. So the minimal amount of pendants in the Dark World, the better. Let's see some Dark World dungeons.
So what? You want vanilla pendants?
I mean, maybe not straight vanilla. Is it even rando at that point? But
I mean, green pendant does have a way of showing up in Eastern.
It certainly does. We've not seen terribly much here in the first part of Escape. Got that shield. We did see the map, which means that we will be checking all the chests.
Yeah, and somewhere, either here in Zelda Cell or in Dark Cross, there has to be a small key.
Oh, it's a cape. Everyone loves to see that early.
Yeah, we're now a lamp away from being able to do Aga 1. Just what we wanted. Actually, I wonder, like, what happens if you try to do Aga 1 now?
That is an interesting thought that I had never had come across my mind, but now I'm very curious.
I know the devs did something at some point to accommodate that.
Bring Zelda to the Aga fight. Let's do it.
Right, and then Aga makes her disappear, right?
Twice. 2 times.
Or maybe Zelda disappears before Zelda's eyes.
Through the looking glass at that point. Done a very nice job of the first part of Escape, though. Very efficient.
Yeah, and pretty much neck and neck. JP maybe has a second advantage.
And we know that we're gonna, as you mentioned earlier, we're gonna see that small key coming up. But the upshot of having the boots is, even though they have not yet found bombs, they can still get to the back of Escape and not have to leave those 3 chests.
Just need to get the key from the rat there and hopefully find some interesting stuff in back of escape, since we really haven't gotten much so far. Ugh.
Hmm.
I was hoping for a bloopy in that last one, just to, cover all our bases.
Just a full medley of rupees. Denied by arrows. Maybe in Sank Chest.
Yeah, at least we have almost enough money to buy bombs and cac if we don't get bombs from like a tree pull or anything.
Oh, there's
Oh,
something.
that was a nice find. So to answer a question in chat, and there are our two pendants. We have a green pendant on Hera, a blue pendant on Eastern, and a regular crystal on Desert.
Okay, we're gonna need to find some stuff in this sea.
So you got your wish. But yes, to answer a question in chat, the casual part of casual boots means we have a standard opening and you start with a sword. And Tier 2 tree pull is just bloopies today, but we did get a bomb drop, or at least JP got a bomb drop off that enemy.
And the bush crab not helping too much, and well, we don't need to kill Aga for the lumberjack ledge at least.
Yeah, just a vanilla lumberjack today. But yeah, that early hammer's intriguing. It's certainly a nice weapon when you're on fighter sword otherwise.
Absolutely. Early flippers. Okay.
Very interesting. We're halfway to our Swamp Palace care package, right?
Getting there.
Of course, we don't actually have Dark World access yet. Oh, there we go. Tier 1 tree pull gives us bombs. Nice find by JP. Hopefully Dr. Earworm. Yep, he's doing the same thing.
It definitely helps you breathe a lot easier going into Kakariko.
Yeah, you can do Blind Hut, back of the well.
And Dr. Earworm grabbing that extra bomb off that bonk rock above Kak too, which is a clever play.
Yeah, JP was like, 3's enough and I'll find more, which he just did. As well as the red meringue.
It's usually a safe bet.
Magic always a nice early find. If we wind up in the Dark World soon and want to use the cape on, like, Mothula battle or something. Early magic bat, anyone?
Saves a little time.
I mean, Sphere 1 Hammer and Powder are kind of screaming magic bat. And Flute!
No.
I was about to say who rolled this, and then I remembered I rolled this.
Just need a bottle to get all the stuff that we hope to get outside of Kak. Inside of Kak.
Bottle vendor gives 50% off. Unfortunately, that's all he gives.
It's better than some of the rates I've gotten from him, so.
Yeah, I guess if he gives you, like, the single arrow, that's a worse deal.
Another sword.
Yeah, you really want to see that Moon Pearl and Glove show up at this point. Did Dr. Earworm not activate his flute? Is that how JP is now slightly behind in doing the checks?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing him do it, but I could be wrong.
Now he's going backward, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and shoutouts to our tracker tonight, Lumaga. We could not do this without a tracker, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what our early magic bat yields us today. Okay.
That, yeah. When the seed screams magic bat like that, magic bat probably has something. So, Moon Pearl away from non-Aga Dark World access. So really, the only thing that would force us to do Aga at this point is if Moon Pearl is on or locked by Pyramid Ledge. The library's a Sphere 1 check in casual boots, but it was junk.
It looks like both players are headed to Dam and most likely South Shore, I would think.
Yeah, since they have the flute, they can check a Gina with a flute to 6, so you're not going to see the routing with like skipping Dam to group it in with the Gina.
Speaking of checks made easier by the flute, coming up with the mushroom. Flute to 2, turn that in.
Second fetch quest already. And our stun prize is just 5 arrows today.
And we can put those arrows to use.
In Pendant Eastern.
Everyone loves Pendant Eastern. It's a great time.
Okay, JP opted to do Ice Rod Cave and Flippers checks. Nowhere near Zora money, though. Actually, wonder if he'll do the Flippers checks or put them off.
Yeah, that's an interesting call to make.
I mean, you get early Flippers, you kind of want to do the Flippers checks.
Yeah. And he's setting up a water walk, so potentially maybe water walk to Hobo. No, I don't know.
Ooh, and the mushroom gave us Bombos for Dr. Earworm, which may or may not be necessary. It's a lot of money sitting on Lake Hylia Island, depending how we're doing financially. When we hit Dark World and get a mirror, we may wind up grabbing it, but probably not.
Oh well then. Tempered sword already. For JP. Let's see if Dr. Earworm also water walks to Hobo, because that would be very beneficial for him.
Yeah, I mean, Kempered and Hammer, we can kill anything pretty readily now.
JP giving us a look at Saha's closet here. Hey, book.
Yeah, we still can't finish desert. We don't have a fire source, but we could do the front of desert, and I wonder if he'll flute to 6 now. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Dr. Earworm indeed did get his tempered sword as well, so there won't be a pronounced sword advantage early on, which is good for him.
And Dr. Irem, okay. He's gonna actually check Waterfall Ferry, which I don't think we saw on JP's side.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
Oh! So, he's still not quite at Zora money with that 300, but the Titan's mitts are kind of big. That could well be what the flippers were pointing us at.
This seed is moving early on, that's for sure. Did you catch what was on the Zora ledge?
Mirror Shield.
Okay. You'd have to figure with runners of these caliber, highly dubious that they would chase that third shield.
Now, the unfortunate thing for JP will be if there's, if the second item is on Landmo. No, that's, yeah, that was our second item. It is a piece of heart. So we can save Landmo until we have Mire access. I didn't catch what was in King's Tomb, though, because I was looking at JP's side.
I don't think it was anything of great significance.
To answer chat, mitts were in Waterfall Cave. So now Dr. Earworm will get his book, which doesn't seem to be doing anything so far except... No, we can't get to either of the tablets yet, either, so... I mean, I guess JP could go to the mountain. There's not much he can do there. Otherwise... Oh, he's going to go to Eastern now, so he's not going to get the Titan's Mitts for a bit yet. Yeah, basically all JP has is 2 checks on the mountain, and Old Man wouldn't even be in logic, but he could still check it. Or the remaining flippers checks, or here in Eastern. Oh, actually, he hasn't done King... Well, no, he can't do King's Doom. He doesn't have the mitts yet.
Yeah. Yeah, for all that the seed's thrown at us early, it certainly narrowed down the checks pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, I mean, early flute definitely helps, and of course, starting boots. So that's item number 1 in Eastern in its junk. And Dr. Earworm also seeing that Desert is junk. But I think I like JP's exit from Desert better. What do you think in terms of which way is faster to Agena? Ooh!
I did not see that. What was that?
That was the mirror in Eastern.
Oh, then. Now the
So that's
mountain's a
going
lot
to
more
take
lucrative.
JP farther away from the mitts because he now has access to most of Death Mountain.
That is very true.
And at this point, you're kind of tempted to do Tower of Harrow once you get up there. It also makes you wonder if maybe the book is for Ether Tablet. And Dr. Earworm, I believe, is completely out of options except Eastern and farming another 25 rupees for Zora. Oh, no, he hasn't done Death Mountain either. But...
Yeah, none of those feel super great at this point, but you know that something's going to pay off for you.
And Armos Knights has the last item in Eastern, and JP is going for it. This is not a fun dark room.
Absolutely not.
Like, it's not too bad with the Fire Rod, but there goes JP. I mean, he is a really good runner.
Yeah, that's just very skillfully done, especially with arrows. I mean, Temper Sword, if you can aggro the Igor, you can take him out with one swipe, but it's in the dark, it's easy for them to to get off on their own track on you. So that was very well done.
Let's see how Dr. Earworm plays this. Since he does also have the mitts, will he just quit out after the mirror since this is a pendant dungeon? Not quite the quick kill, but does get them down, unfortunately, just for a red rupee. So that's going to be a bit of a waste of time for JP, unless there's something on PED. But it looks like Dr. Earworm is seeing this through as well, so it'll cancel out.
Yeah, it's a play that I definitely respect. I mean, he's got, again, JP's got such high level of skill that he can slice through those last few rooms quicker than most people. So, you know, if he winds up finding something on Pendant Armos, that could be a huge advantage for him. It just didn't pay off on this occasion, but still early.
And now he's rescuing the old man, also in the dark. Does make you wonder where the lamp is. I'm gonna guess Moon Pearl is up here on the mountain somewhere.
Yeah, that would be my thought.
Oh, and JP still hasn't turned in that mushroom, which is a little surprising since it's such an easy check with Flute, and we've already done Magic Bat, so we don't need Fake Powder. Also, one thing that could work out for JP is if there's something on Zora, because he's now basically at Zora money, so when he goes to get his mitts, hey, there's the Moon Pearl.
And Ether.
Yeah.
Hello, Spec Rock.
So, 2 medallions spoken for before we've even set foot in the Dark World.
And as you noted, it looks like Dr. Earworm is taking Eastern to the end here as well.
And not a bad job in that dark room either.
Oh, very well done.
Ooh, JP didn't quite set up the bomb jump right. We'll have to climb the mountain again. Welcome to our Raiders from SpeedGaming 3. You've arrived at a very interesting casual boots match that has given us so many items right out of the gate. And our 5-6 crystals are Pod and Ice, and our last pendant is Skull Woods. So Pod's gonna be a pretty attractive play now that we have Dark World access.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Guess the book was to get us that Cave of Samaria.
Just go to the mountain. Everything else is there. If it's not in CAC, it's on the mountain.
JP did get one glove, didn't he? I'm trying to remember where the first glove was.
The first glove is rather early. I thought it was in CAC, perhaps?
Oh yeah, Magic Bat.
Yes.
Yeah, so he must have gotten that. Yeah.
Just a quick dip in and out of Hera for JP. In this spot, I would not blame him. More money up on visible checks.
Getting a bit dead-rocked and hit by cabbages. So what do we still even need? Hookshot and 2 rods?
Yeah, pretty much, right? And then just potentially medallions?
Yeah, potentially Quake. And, of course, JP may need to pick up his Bombos at some point. Wouldn't surprise me if Paradox Cave is a complete bust, just given how much we've already gotten here.
Yeah, it's hard for it to pay out the way it can on other occasions when you're hunting for a lot. Money problems are a thing of the past for the players. Oh, okay, never mind. Or could just have a gold sword, you know.
Yeah. Not something you're really looking for, not something you're going to say no to.
Not even 27 minutes in, gold sword.
So now JP's going back to Hera. Dr. Earworm will be in an interesting situation. We haven't seen the hookshot yet, so he can do 3 Dark Death Mountain checks. He can, I guess technically 4 that Spike Cave is in logic. In fact, JP's doing Spike Cave. But yeah, Dr. Earworm will be able to do 2 checks in Super Bunny Cave and the 1 bonkable check in Hookshot Cave. I don't think he hovers.
You can also get the information on the Turtle Rock medallion early, just in case.
Oh, true. And Spike Cave is nothing. Did JP do Map Chest in Hera? I know he saw the small key.
I think he did the first 2. I think.
Okay, so we are fire locked out of Hera, or else we need Hookshot to Hera Pot. And JP's gonna start off here with Hype Cave. I'm guessing he is planning to then work around to Pod, but who knows? Like, I'd probably do Pod to Pyramid Ledge to Catfish and then Mirror and finish the Flipper checks. And probably turn in Mushroom on the way.
Yeah, that definitely makes really good sense for routing. And as we've seen, dark rooms are no challenge for JP really. So
yeah,
Dark Pod, yeah.
I'm sure he knows Dark Maze by heart, and even Terrapin Room in the basement. Doing Pyramid before Pod, okay. And Dr. Earworm shows us that Turtle Rock is Ether, so we don't know what we'll need for Meyer. Hey, is that the lamp? That's the lamp. Okay,
Sure
good call
is.
doing that before pod. And yeah, now he's gonna go into pod.
So Aga was never going to be in logic. Poor Aga.
And Dr. Earworm finds junk in Super Bunny Cave and is now going to do the one bonk check in Hookshot Cave. If you're rooting for him, you want to see something like Hookshot here. Oh, he's going to try to hover, okay.
Barry's not cooperating too much then.
At this point, you just have to say the Barry's far enough out of the way. But no, didn't get it. Not gonna waste any more time. So, we have a question in chat about hovering. The idea behind hovering is when you're over a pit, the game only checks on the second frame to see if you're over a pit and need to fall. So if you can let up the dash button for exactly one frame, you can move one frame forward, and then while you're charging a dash, it's not checking to see whether you're over a pit. So I think you have up to 29 frames or 30 frames to charge the dash before it would realize. So you hold the A button for up to 29 frames, release it for exactly one frame, rinse and repeat, and that's hovering.
Not sure if we've seen anything other than small keys in pod thus far.
There are small keys in the front of pod?
Very rarely, but you know. It's definitely either 4 or 5 in the first 5 checks.
That's 5, I believe. I think we've only seen one non-small key item here.
Dr. Earworm's made his way to and through Hype Cave. Let's see if he follows in JP's shoes. He is heading toward Stumpy and Dig Game first. In 45.
Well, certainly not a go-modable pod with the big key hiding out in Harmless Hellway. And Dr. Earworm going the other way wants to see Stumpy, gets red mail from Stumpy. Hey, and there's our last fetch quest item, the shovel, in Dark Maze.
At the very least, it works out for JP in that he hasn't routed in Stumpy as yet, so he can do those both at exciting checks at the same time.
Oh, I just realized for Dr. Earworm, he has the mitts, so he can go straight up into Village of Outcasts from here.
That is true, yes.
So that's probably what incentivized him in this direction. He can full clear thieves. Long dig game. And a vanilla dig game.
Dr. Earworm's going to return the smith and particularly at least do hammer pegs here too.
Yeah, I don't disagree with this since he has the mitts. I think it'll work out more nicely for JP because the natural route will get him his mitts after pod. And he'll be able to check Zora, which Dr. Earworm has orphaned.
Yeah, that's a very good point. They both the routes make sense, and as you say, JP's just might have a little more upside at the moment that we know of.
Smiths are playing double your money today.
That's nice of them. It's the opposite of Little Guy.
Yeah.
with mirror and flute too, you can set a portal, jet off to 7 and turn in the purple chest too. So that makes things a lot more efficient for Dr. Earworm.
Yeah, well, you don't want a flute to 7, you want a combo purple chest with Bombo's tablet.
Oh, that's a good point.
And boy does the Butter Sword help you make short work of the second phase of Helma King. So nothing really doing in pod, but it is our first crystal at 36 minutes. Okay, Dr. Earworm making a liar out of me. He's gonna orphan Bombos. I didn't actually see what was on the purple chest, but I assume it was junk.
It was $50.
Ah, okay. Now this is surprising from JP. I really thought after pod he'd go up to Catfish and get his Bombos and his mitts on the way. But he wants to see what's on Ped.
That is very intriguing.
I mean, eventually he'll run out of stuff to do without the mitts.
Ped's dead, folks. Sorry.
So, our most confirmed waste of time. Nothing so far in Thieves. Most of the items in the back, as usual.
JP is going to follow Dr. Earworm into Thieves.
Hey, there's the green 20 that replaces the boots. So, 2 items down in Thieves Town, still nothing doing, but again, this is a crystal. Thieves Town, you don't really get much from go-moding it, so it's not really hurting us to full clear.
Absolutely. Where do you think that the players head after Thieves, Drosy?
I think JP's probably going to go south because he hasn't done those checks yet. Dr. Earworm wouldn't surprise me if he dips the front of Skull because of the pendant, so he'll just hope to get the 2 items out of there.
Yeah, with that early cape, we still do have the bumper ledge that's sitting out there.
And Graveyard Ledge.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna guess Dr. Earworm goes north from here and JP goes south, but who knows? I've been wrong before.
And the interesting thing about the two players' items that they're missing is that Dr. Earworm has the mitts, he can get to the mire area, but doesn't have the fire source to clear desert, whereas JP has a fire source, but no mitts.
And the fire source also lets you full clear mire and makes mire basement a bit easier.
Absolutely.
So in terms of our own knowledge, we can get 4 crystals, which includes the other 5, 6 in ice. Though, of course, JP would need to first get mitts and bombos.
Mm.
So,
very nice blind fight from Dr. Earworm.
yeah, Thebes is all junk, though. We've seen 2 crystal dungeons full cleared and not a single piece of not only progression, but really nothing even marginally useful in them.
Yeah.
Hey, there's our first bottle in C-shaped house, which is a really easy mirror to sick kid. But Dr. Earworm decides he wants to do chest game first, okay. He's got the flute out, so I guess he isn't going to do Bumper Ledge and Graveyard Ledge and Front of Skull Woods. Where is he going then?
JP also takes care of blind. Second crystal for him.
Oh, is this an Ice Palace play for Dr. Earworm?
Okay.
May or may not be in logic because we don't have the hook shot, but we certainly can clear it. Especially taking advantage of Icebreaker. Did we get a big key in Compass chest, or is Dr. Earworm just taking a gamble that he'll get the big key before he gets 3 items?
I actually missed it. That is actually some a logical thing I don't know about. Could you explain that, Drosy?
What?
The logic behind big key before 3 items.
Oh, just that if you've already checked the items, you want to be able to go mode to Cold Stare. You don't want to have to detour to say Ice Tea Room to get the big key, because he didn't hit the switch, so he'll need to open the big key door to get to Cold Stare.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
Well, that's at least the second item. So this is our first shovel check. Dr. Earworm did not get the shovel out of pod, and it's junk. Oh, and there's the big key and iced tea room, see? Now, I think we've only seen 2 items, so we'll want to open the big chest in any case to see if the third item's there. But we do have to do this bomb jump because we don't have the hook shot.
JP is giving us a look at Bombo's tablet too.
Also, given the key layout, the right side of Ice Palace was logically hookshot locked, but the boss is not logically hookshot locked. So we do actually have Pyramid Variant logic now. And I believe Cold Stare will have our final item. Buttersword really makes a joke of Cold Stare. Oh, I guess we must have already gotten the... Okay, so... In that case, we did get all 3 items before going to Ice Tea Room, so if Dr. Earworm had hit the switch early and had been counting, he could have just made a beeline to the boss after Freezor Room. So there you go with why it's beneficial to hit the switch before you do Icebreaker.
That is good to know, and I hope to remember it. Key logic is a fun thing. Item logic as well. JP is giving us a dip into Pendant Skullwoods.
Well, Dr. Earworm now going back for the Orphan Zora check, which is particularly interesting because in the process he... Oh my... I'll let you say what JP just found.
Yeah, for the first time ever, Fire Rod in Skullwoods.
And right below it was our second item, so he can just get the heck out of there and never think about Skullwoods again. Meanwhile, Zora was the scam.
That's something that also never happens. The seat is full of surprises.
Yeah, so Ice Rod and Hookshot for Go mode. Potentially, we still don't know what opens fire. And I think now JP will finish this North Dark World sequence by getting his mitts. And checking Catfish and getting Bombos, hopefully, if he remembers all those things. I mean, JP's pretty much out of stuff to do otherwise. I don't think he's checked Bombo's tablet, but he's exhausted just about everything else other than, you know, hookless swamp dip, and who wants to do that?
He actually did check Bombos.
Oh, did he?
It was just bombs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just bombs. He snuck that in with a loop around with the shovel check.
Okay, so he's exhausted everything except for a hookless swamp dip and where we know Bombos and the mitts are, and what we don't know is on Catfish. Though, of course, unless Bombos opens Mire, we don't actually need it now that we have the Fire Rod.
Yeah,
Nice Mirrorbonk setup for JP.
Coming away with the mitts here definitely opens a lot for JP.
Yeah, he can do ice. 2/3 chance he can do Mire.
Close out Desert as well, and then Ice Rod Hunt that we all love. And Hook Shot, right?
Yep. Let's see what the Angry Fish has. Oh, both fish have the same reward today. So let's get a Mire medallion prediction going in chat here. What do you think? Something we have or something we don't have?
We already played one seed today in which it was this exact situation, and it was Quake.
So
let's be a little nicer and make them both Ether.
So Dr. Earworm doing his full tour of ice. He did not grab the lamp.
Yeah, he is
Not
not
ice pod. Why did I say ice? Got ice on the brain.
JP is indeed heading to ice first. Definitely makes sense for the reasons you laid out earlier. You're pretty much gonna zip through it, especially with Icebreaker.
Yeah, and Fire Rod will save him time because it's a much shorter animation than Bombos. And if he hits the switch, that will also save him even more time.
Dr. Earworm setting up a hammer jump here. Nicely done.
Butter Sword is sure nice against Pen Gators when you don't have the hook shot. Okay, so it was just bombs in that chest. Oh no, JP's not hitting the switch either. So, giving back the time save he could have had here. I'm gonna have to ask both of these runners about this in the interview. JP just not having good luck with Icebreaker today. I mean, there we go. I was gonna say, he seems to be putting the block in the right place. It's just his movement after placing the block that was the problem.
Yeah, it can be surprisingly finicky sometimes, but he worked his way through it pretty quickly, so it was good recovery.
Yeah, at least Samaria doesn't use much magic, so he wasn't in danger of running out of magic trying to do it. And now JP gets the news that, oh yeah, if you'd hit the switch before, you could be on your way to Cold Stare now.
Dr. Earworm got through Dark Turtles pretty well there. Put those medallions to good use.
Yeah, it is nice when you have Bombos and Ether. You just kind of hammer and medallion away until you get them down. So JP was at least counting items, so he didn't go back for the big chest. So we're going to have very close in time third crystal grabs from both of these runners.
And with neither lamp nor fire rod in tow, though, do you think that Dr. Earworm heads to that desert area and hope that one is there? I know that neither are, unfortunately for him, but
Right. Yeah, I could see him going to Meyer. No, is he going to do Pyramid Fairy? Yeah, he hasn't checked Pyramid, so I think he's doing Pyramid Fairy to Pyramid and then maybe to Catfish, so he will at least get his lamp out of this.
it's a nice call.
And Ether for Meyer, as most of you predicted with your points. Bombos was actually not needed because the Fire Rod was available in the front of Skull Woods.
That is true, yeah.
Of course, the nice thing for JP... Oh!
Hello.
Vanilla Silvers! How about that? The nice thing for JP, though, having the Fire Rod, is he can do Spooky. Again, I'm not too worried for JP if he doesn't check Pyramid, because he has Butter Sword, and, you know, he's old hat at doing Silver with Scan with the Butter Sword, I'm sure. But Silvers are not something you say no to.
Yeah, certainly not. Gold Sword, Red Mail, Silvers, you think these guys are ready for Ganon? Could be a pretty long fight.
And 13, 14 hearts, too. Does Dr. Earworm want to see what the bottle gives? Oh no, he's fluting, I see. What was in Meyer Bridge chest?
I did not fully catch it.
There's the big key in the lobby chest in any case. I think, if Bridge Chest didn't have an item, I think one of the items has to be in the cutscene. Because if Bridge Chest didn't have an item, then we haven't seen any items yet now, so Vidi and Cutscene have to be the 2 items.
I want to say that there was one, but
well, we'll see it from Dr.
Sure.
Earworm soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah, for a dungeon with only 2 items, Meyer key logic is very interesting.
Meyer basement's so much easier here with an actual lamp. JP does get spooky. Okay, that was the first item. Full heart container on the bridge. So with any luck, Vitreous will have our second item, and I think it's the compass we haven't seen yet will be in the cutscene chest. Cape half magic and a butter sword. I'm very worried about JP here. Oh no. So, go back for cutscene?
Probably not. But oof, those are not the fun calls when you get to that part of the seed. And
E-Train famously didn't go back for cutscene in the quarterfinals of the main tournament, and it cost him a spot in the semifinals.
That's very unfortunate.
And to answer chat, Fire Rod was French vanilla. So Dr. Earworm has not decided to dip Pendant Skullwoods yet, but he will have to at some point. Might be kind of hard to take down Trinex otherwise. Speaking of which, we're running low on options. Like, do you start diving Hookless Swamp or Ice Rodless TR? Probably Ice Rodless TR.
Yeah, especially if you got the Fire Rod like JP does. Definitely makes at least more sense. They're not going to get locked out at the very outset.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Dr. Earworm does next.
He is checking the cutscene chest, though, so we will see if this is a potential pivotal moment.
JP is now up to 5 crystals. Oh, Checkerboard Cave, haven't seen this yet. I think at this point we can skip heart containers. And just a bloopy in cutscene chest, so JP just saved quite a bit of time.
Yeah, that skip definitely gonna pay off for him.
So, is JP doing Pyramid Fairy or Swamp? Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes sense. If something more significant than silvers, and not to downplay silvers, they're great,
Yeah.
but if something more significant than silvers was on Pyramid Fairy, it can give you a more concrete direction as to where to go.
Dr. Earworm having to do Meyer Basement the old-fashioned way. Oh no. JP lost his bomb because that Hinox got him.
Oh, jeez.
At least he has plenty of money to buy another one.
You buy several. Keep a few as souvenirs. We've already seen Viddy taken down by Butter Sword and Cape, and now he gets to meet Silver Arrows. Didn't work out for him.
JP taking the much safer route here, charging the Hinox, oh, misses the screen transition! I thought he had it. Oof. The problem is, trying to save yourself time like this, you wind up costing yourself time. I know it's really annoying without the hook shot, but sometimes you just need to walk it. Let's see if Dr. Earworm wants his 16th heart container. He's not finishing Desert while he's in the vicinity?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when else are you gonna finish Desert? It's a crystal and you're right there.
Yeah, I'm very, very confused by that.
And you have Silver Arrows, so the Landmo fight's gonna be a joke. Okay, JP going up the mountain. Let's see if he does Hera. It would take a while, though. He has to do the coffee break to get the big key, since we still don't have hookshot. Probably do TR first, and then do Hera as a backup play if you still haven't gotten progression out of TR.
And that would be what would make the most sense to me.
And, of course, he still has those 3 checks between Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave.
I guess he also technically doesn't know yet that he does have access to TR. He will in a matter of seconds.
Now, Dr. Earworm not having the Fire Rod is doing Hera first. Because for all we know, he could get locked out of TR very quickly without that Fire Rod.
Yep, and this play makes total sense from that standpoint, too.
Oh my. Master Tank's I Heart Hera Basement emote being spammed in chat.
I don't think I'd seen that one before.
Me neither. I've seen Believe in Pod and stuff like that. But...
There are many very creative emotes in this community. I'm always impressed.
I've also seen 3 different animated emotes related to Eastern. There's Korex Always Do Eastern, there's Zelga-Dasan's Nope Out of Eastern, and there's Shady Force's Indecisive Eastern.
I'm getting mixed messages from these emotes. How am I supposed to make my routing decisions now?
I don't know if JP hovers, but the only thing he could possibly find in Hookshot Cave is Ice Rod, so probably not worth it. Now, does he remember that he doesn't have the hookshot for doing the torches room?
You get to go the scenic route.
He does remember. I missed Hera Compass chest, but I'm assuming it was junk.
It was.
And yeah, with a big key and a small key on the firelock side of TR, Dr. Earworm would be locked out very quickly if he went in. Well, I guess not immediately, since there is also a small key in Compass chest. And Hera's just junk, though we do get the green pendant.
Yeah, that turn-in could prove to be an important out for Dr. Earworm here, depending on what JP does.
Oh!
Hmm.
Well, Dr. Earworm can get that hook shot without the fire rod. Though, of course, if JP is able to get the ice rod deeper in Turtle Rock, he's in go mode, but
Yeah,
at the rate
and
things
then,
have been going, the ice rod's probably in Swamp.
unfortunately for Dr. Earworm, that hook shot would take him further away from Skull, which is where he needs to go.
So now we've got the meaty checks. Mimic Cave, Big Chest, Crystal Roller, and Laser Bridge. Hookshot's the only item we've seen so far here in TR, so there's an item in Mimic Cave and 4 more items in TR. So Dr. Earworm taking that hookshot to Hookshot Cave gets the bug net. And our second bottle. And some money.
So Dr. Earworm heading to Swamp now, which certainly makes sense. You gotta figure he's gonna full clear it, looking for both those rods at the moment.
Yeah, that's the problem with being 2 items from go mode. You probably just do left side immediately. And he's not going to find Fire Rod here, so he's going to be full clearing the whole dungeon. Whereas if Ice Rod's here, JP will be in go mode as soon as he gets it. Well, there's the mandatory key on Laser Bridge. It's not actually mandatory, it's just almost always there. And I guess Trinex has the last item, so it's definitely not the ice rod.
Yeah, problems if it was.
So chances are the ice rod is here in swamp somewhere. But I think JP is gonna do hookshot cave. The question is, does he also do Hera while he's up here? Now that he has the hookshot, we know that there isn't an item in Hera Big Chest, so he's fine just Hera potting and skipping the big key. The argument in favor of doing Hera is that then if there's nothing in swamp, you can immediately turn in green pendant.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is kind of looking like Dr. Earworm's primary hope right now. Is that the green pendant is that ice rod. He still has a bit of a ways to go here, because he also still has that desert clear, or still has to finish off desert. It'll be fast enough, but it's still something JP's already done. And go to skull.
Okay, so JP is going to climb Hera. He will be relieved when he sees that the big key isn't locking an item. Guess he's more comfortable with the bomb Herapot setup than the boots Herapot setup. Oh, and there's the ice rod on left side swamp. We're in no mode. So, the interesting thing about this seed is you have to double dip either swamp or turtle rock, but you can choose which one to double dip.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, and I guess JP and Dr. Earworm are actually both at 3 bottles now, with the bottle from Hera and the bottle from Hookshot Cave. Kind of funny in a seed where it took forever to get the first bottle.
That's yeah. Dr. Earworm heading back for the big chest, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now, JP being 1 item from Go mode will probably do the back of Swamp before left side, but given how little he has left, I would think once he beats Argus, he'll go back for left side Swamp.
Yeah, that would definitely seem most likely. Green pendant, merely 3 bombs.
So, just to recap, since chat's discussing, Fire Rod is in Pot Prison in Skullwoods, and Hookshot is in Chain Chomp Chest in Turtle Rock. So down goes Argus for Dr. Earworm. That's his 5th crystal. I still don't know when he's going to go back and do Desert.
He hasn't checked Bombos, I don't think, so he's gonna get bombs that he can't use, but nothing more than that, unfortunately for him.
So now Dr. Earworm's like, oh yeah, I need that crystal out of Desert.
Yeah, it could definitely just be one of those oversight things, because you know you've got both dungeons clearable at the same time. Where it just slips your mind after you go through Mire and those area checks that you didn't actually finish out Desert, given that you'd already been there once.
And as expected, JP being 1 item from Go Mode is skipping left side because, well, if you're 1 item from Go Mode, you just kind of hope you get it in the back and then you never have to touch left side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at this point, after Dr. Earworm takes out Landmos here in Desert, he's pretty much pulled to Skull, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure what else he has. Of course, JP's still at a bit of an advantage, assuming he goes right back into Swamp, and why wouldn't he? Because he has so few things left. What's he gonna do? Mire cutscene?
Yeah, he's already done Pyramid Fairy, he's already done the Green Pendant turn-in. There's not terribly much left.
Oh yeah, Dr. Earworm now doing Green Pendant before he does Skull Woods. Yep, back in goes JP. And Dr. Earworm... Oh, has he not done the shovel check?
I don't believe he's done the check. Does he have the shovel?
Yeah, because
does,
when
okay.
he was through here before, he hadn't done pod yet, so he never came back here to do
Right.
shovel check. I just realized JP has Smith Chain, but it's a good thing he's doing left side swamp before Smith Chain.
It's definitely going to work out for him, that's for sure.
So at this point, both runners will hit go mode around the same time. The difference is JP's already cleared out Turtle Rock. Dr. Earworm's gonna need to collect all those keys first. So, doesn't give JP a huge lead, but it definitely gives him, you know, a minute or two.
It's definitely a nice feeling to be able to cruise through. You never want to have to double dip Turtle Rock, of course, but to be able to roll through it without all the stops is definitely a more pleasant experience.
And that's Dr. Earworm's go mode at 125.19. If Dr. Earworm had done Landmos when he was finishing Meyer, I think this would be very close. But he did take a little bit of extra time to get back there, so this is ultimately going to give JP a lead, and we'll see how much time JP saves here by virtue of not having to open any chests in TR.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see. Does being able to skip lava chest help Dr. Earworm at all in terms of closing that gap and not needing a key?
No, lava chest was a key for a key, so he'll need to get the small key off of Laser Bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe they hit go mode 57 seconds apart. Yeah, so for example, JP's already done these torches. He doesn't need to do them again. Though Dr. Earworm can take the slightly shorter route since he has the hook shot. Also, JP is ahead 17 heart containers to 16. You never know when that 17th heart container could come in handy. It means he can withstand 4 Ganon hugs, and Dr. Earworm can only withstand 3.
It's just a challenge to see who can take it down the most. You gotta make that Ganon fight, at least somewhat challenging for Ganon. You don't want him to go down too easy.
So now here they are in almost perfect sync coming through Chain Chomp's room. And this is where JP will start to take the lead because Dr. Earworm still has to steal the key from the Pokey.
This has been an impressive showing by both these players, though. It's really nice that it's a tight race. That's an interesting setup for that crystal room. That's one I haven't actually seen before.
I missed it. What did he do?
He placed the Samaria directly on the crystal, threw a pot, and set it off as he dashed up.
Oh. Meanwhile, JP trying for backdoor strats on Trinex, but couldn't get the Ice Head, so he does have a 1 cycle. But still, Buttersword Trinex. And we'll get our big key guessing game going. So, Put a number from 1 to 22 in chat. Waste your channel points on a prediction. Up to you here. We will go off of JP as he will be the first into GT. We'll see how much of a time difference between these two runners. Probably only like half a minute at this point. Dr. Earworm had a really good TR.
It was very impressive. And he had a similarly quick try next fight.
So JP into GT at about 131.20. And he is going left first. Hey, there's Quake.
Oh, good. I was worried about it for a while.
This is also basically a safety routing for JP. There's very little time advantage Dr. Earworm can gain here. And yeah, just about 40 seconds difference entering GT. Oh, and Dr. Earworm taking the same routing, so this will be all up to execution now.
Is there a possibility that Dr. Earworm goes full left, or is he more likely to follow JP's lead?
Rando rush? I don't know. You don't see that too often. I mean, I suppose there's some possibility. It's unlikely. Oh, he has Ether out. He is going to kill the Stalfos. Interesting. I guess he is doing Rando rush. Well then.
Oh, well.
But that is not going to pay off for Dr. Earworm as the big key is in Compass Room. JP gets it on check number 11. So GG to Underlig Type, who correctly guessed 11 in chat. Yeah, so definitely JP's race to lose now with GT basement routing. Obviously, if the big key hadn't been in Compass Room, Dr. Earworm would have a very slight lead. But as it is, Dark Magician routing pays off since there was not a small key in Hope Room, so that was the fastest way to get to the big key, what JP did.
Unsurprisingly, JP just shredding the gauntlet.
Though having a bit of trouble with Landmo there.
They are a tricky sort.
2-cycle, though, not horrible. So as Dr. Earworm finds his big key, and I'm a little bit surprised with one small that he's grabbing this one rather than just getting the one from Mini Helma upstairs. But yeah, as he heads upstairs, JP is already in Wizrobe 2. I mean, a Ganon fall could always change things, but it is extremely likely JP wins at this point. absolutely no need to open chests here. There is nothing we could possibly find. I mean, maybe Sankard for a refill, but even then, like, JP didn't even want to powder that anti-fairy. Dr. Earworm having a pretty good gauntlet here. Not quite as fast as JP blasting through, but still a very solid one. That was a great room.
Yeah, that was artful right there. And cooperative BMOs, not so much.
Wait, how did he just hit that Stalfos with the fire rod shot that was nowhere near the Stalfos?
But we don't ask those questions. It totally happened.
Dr. Earworm also getting bullied around a bit by Lanmo, so not going to make up any time here.
Meanwhile, Aga2 already down for JP. So we now get to see if Gold Sword and Silver Arrows are effective against Ganon.
You mean actually going into the fight with what the game wants you to have?
Yeah. There's something to be said for the 52 spins, I guess. But Zero's fun too.
What do you know? We're getting a 1-1 on Ganon with the Butter Sword.
Really thought Ganon would put up more of a fight this time.
So really, apart from the GT basement routing, it was just subtle differences in this seed between the two runners that gave JP his lead, like not going back into Mire to do cutscene, remembering to do Desert right after Mire, and get your GGs in for him as he will take this victory, assuming he can cross the bridge.
That was a really nice setup for that fight-ending triple there.
But with Dr. Earworm on Aga 2, I think we'll let him play this out and then bring in both runners for an interview at the same time. And hey, we get to listen to the Grand Poo World 2 music here for the Aga fight. As JP does get an official race time of 1:38.59. Yeah, this will probably be a little over 2 minutes difference at the end of the day. And most of that time difference is just GT basement routing, since they were 40 seconds apart entering GT.
Yeah, I mean, they were, even though they had somewhat divergent routes for a while, I mean, they hung with each other the whole seed. This was a strong performance by both these guys.
Dr. Earworm also easily getting the 1-1.
Very nice.
So get your GGs in for Dr. Earworm here. As he takes down the pig, and we'll cross the bridge here at 1:41:18. Time difference of 2 minutes, 19 seconds. We have both the runners in the waiting room. Let's see if we can get them up here. Hey, and we are joined by both of our runners. GG's, both of you. That was a heck of a race.
Oh, I should stop my timer. GG's.
GG.
GG, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I know you haven't even had time to compare, but would you believe most of the time difference between the two of you is GT basement routing?
Oh man. You know what? I am anytime I'm coming up into a race against someone like JP, right? I know that I am up for a really strong challenge. Like I just I haven't been playing this game as long, and JP's a super good runner, and I'm very happy with a race as close as that. So I what can I say? Rando Room failed me today, or Rando Rush failed me today.
Yeah, I was really surprised that Dark Magician worked.
Worked like a charm, given the key layout. It was the perfect routing for this seed.
I was so tempted too with the 14 million small keys in DM room. There was that moment of like, oh, should I just? Nah, I'm gonna stick to what I do.
Yeah, and I guess JP, one of the other big things for you. So you should watch this back. 40-second difference entering GT, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, JP, one of the big things up to that point was you skipping Meyer cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
Just decided it wasn't worth the gamble, or?
Yeah, I think at that point I still had a lot of stuff to check, and I was like, I didn't want to make the gamble there. Plus, I feel like I got my mitts late, so I was a little worried about that too.
Yeah, you got the mitts late, but the fire rod early.
Yeah, my rope did at least get me fire rod. I think. No, Hera wasn't required. I was going to say all 3 penitentials are required, but no, there was nothing in Hera.
Okay, but you at least also fell for the green pendant bait.
Yeah, I didn't want to reclimb the mountain, so I'm like, I can Hera pot easily. Let's at least grab the green pendant. If it's in Hera, then I can just go right back into TR.
Right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dressy.
Oh no, I think you were about to say the same thing I was going to say, Dr. Earworm.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I found the hook shot and then found the ice rod on Left Side Swamp, there was this, and then found that the fire rod was just free sitting in the front of Skull Woods. I had this moment of like, okay, my out is that JP had the fire rod when he decided to dip TR and didn't get locked out like I did, and maybe somehow ended up also skipping Left Side Swamp, and but yeah, that was because my execution wasn't so great. I think this seed I had a couple of dingus moments and some awkward routing.
Sorry, you want to talk about dingus moments? Go watch my big bomb.
Hey, the bomb vendor made a lot of money off you today, JP.
Oh no, what happened?
So the first time I was trying to do the bomb dupe, and the Hinox didn't cooperate.
Oh no.
So I went down, did it a second time. I mentally got in my head for a moment, and so I did a different run, which doesn't work because it's an extra dash that means you just have a little less time, so you can't get the dupe. So the third time, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna walk it up. I'm not wasting this time.
Yeah. I got the first sort of like damage boost run in front of the shop, and then I was just like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna take a leisurely stroll up to the pyramid here, and then it turns out get my my lamp that I knew my fire source had to be sitting somewhere. I put off Meyer for a while just because I didn't want to go there without a fire source. It turns out I could have, and actually would have saved time if I had. But funny story about Meyer, I miscounted my items. I thought there was an item in cutscene and an item on Vidi, which is why I didn't go to Vidi first.
If you had gone to Vidi and gotten the compass, would you have then skipped cutscene?
Probably not, but not because I think that's the right play, but simply because I have a tendency to give into recency bias, and it's still fresh in my mind the race that I got absolutely destroyed in recently because my hammer was sitting in cutscene. So, yeah, and then and then I forgot to kill Lanmo when I was in Meyer area, so then I ended up needing an extra flute back to desert area. There were a couple moments in the scene where I was just like, well, you know, that was actually kind of what motivated the mountain climb when I did it. I was sort of at a point where I had isolated some awkward things, and I thought, okay, I basically have a choice between two bad things or a bunch of terrible one-offs. I can either do Hookless Swamp, or I can, you know, get the green pendant and dip TR. And I think that's probably what kept me closer than I would have been, I'm guessing.
Oddly enough, a Hookless Swamp dip would not have backfired in this one. You would have gotten Ice Rod early, and so you would have gotten the hookshot then in TR, and that would have...
Yeah. Except for one critical piece of information you're missing, JP, which is that Fire Rod was my go mode. I didn't go to School Woods until the very end.
Okay, never mind then. I guess for me, it wouldn't have mattered. I could have done the Hookless Swamp, and that would have potentially paid off a little bit. I actually thought about it as I was going through TR when I got the hookshot. It was a few rooms after. I think it was in the double poke room. Like, I should have mirrored and checked hookshot cave immediately. I should have done that, but I didn't. It didn't end up being there anyway. So, but that was probably. I just was thinking a lot through in a seed like this when you're just so far behind. It's like you start thinking about through all your little inefficiencies in the seed. Like,
right.
I should have probably bailed on Eastern after mirror. I should have. There's a lot of little things I should have done. I mean, I won, so it's like I shouldn't beat myself too much about that. But
but yeah, it's. I mean, you know, I told you this after our last race that this, you know, this tournament, same with cross keys, right? This tournament is purely a learning opportunity for me. I'm gonna have opportunities to play against runners who are much better than me, and I really appreciate the restream because it makes it so much easier for me to go back and compare after. Because I've been playing this game for about a year. I have a ton to learn, and so these conversations and the restream and everything is super helpful.
That's great in the credits, by the way. 1 tempered sword boss, 10 gold sword bosses.
Yeah, right. Good lord. Oh, JP, you have to go back and do it again. You were 1 short on your collection rate.
Actually, in terms of, you know, you were talking about little inefficiencies, besides the fact that you both, you know, went to Armos Night, so that canceled out. One other thing that you both did that I found interesting, neither of you hit the switch in Ice Palace. Can you talk about your routing decision for Ice?
Go for it, JP.
Usually, more often than not, hitting that switch is actually probably going to cost you a little time if you're going to full clear it, which I was planning to do since I was at least 2, maybe 3 items from go mode at that point. I think I didn't know if I needed Quake. So I didn't hit the switch because I figured, I'm probably going to clear all the chests, and it happened to be one of the few times when hitting the switch would have helped a little bit. I think it would have only been a small time saving in the end, but yeah, it was one of those few times that actually would have helped.
Yeah, very, very, very similar thought process for me. And you know what made the decision for me was not finding a small key in the Pen Gator chest. If I find a small key in the Pen Gator chest, I hit the switch, because then I know for sure that I'll be able to bomb jump to Ice T if I need to. But knowing that I was going to full clear and that I still needed a handful of things, I just sort of had that moment of, the only way this really hurts me is if you know, Big Key is in Ice T, and then of course, Big Key was in Ice T.
Yeah, I think this race showed me I need to work on some stuff. My Icebreaker also wasn't great. Harapot was a little rough. I need to get the practice hack going and
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous that you got to do Harapot.
Oh, you did Hera without?
Yeah, I did Hera Basement. I have to satisfy the fans and also Royale with Cheese, who's in the chat, who is the queen of Hera Basement. She would be very offended if I didn't pay a visit to her sovereign nation.
Yeah.
But also, I just didn't have the hook shot.
Yeah, I wasn't touching Hera before going into TR, and then that was when I was after TR. I was like, okay, I'm gonna at least check Hera because I don't want to recline, potentially look for Ice Rod. Plus, at that point, I was like, eliminate some spots before going into Swamp Palace, so I know if I need to do left side or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where the Fire Rod made the difference, because JP, since you had the Fire Rod, you knew you could like do a full clear of TR, so that was a much denser play than
Right.
Hera and Dr. Earworm. You knew you probably weren't going to get too far in TR without the Fire Rod.
Exactly. For all I knew, the Fire Rod was, fire locked in Hera. So it just because I had to go up the mountain that way anyway, it just made sense to full clear Hera first, and just didn't pay off this time.
This was not a good seed for Rule of Fire.
No. Did you see? Yeah, that's why I chased the shovel before finally fluting back to 3 and picking up my Fire Rod, because like, okay, maybe the lamp is locking the shovel, is locking the Fire Rod. Maybe I had a lot of that stuff in the early game too, like that early desert dip, and a couple of other early things that I did was like, well, these items are showing up. Maybe they're telling me something, and they just weren't.
Yeah, I think that might have also helped me too, because I had the shovel early. Because my first thing I basically did in Dark World was pod. I mean, I had cave, pyramid,
Right.
pod, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I was just able to route some of the Dark World a little more efficiently.
Right. Yeah, I did Hype Cave, and as I was dashing over towards Cave 45, I had this moment of this is not great. I don't like what I'm doing here. I have a fully clearable pod. I have a fully clearable Thieves Town. But by that point, I was halfway to Stumpy already, and I didn't want to just bail on it. And it was the same thing in Eastern Palace, right? I pulled the mirror out of Eastern Palace and went, oh, I should bail, but I didn't. And then by the time I was, past the big chest, it felt too late to not just take it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I kind of had that same moment too, and I didn't even think about it till after I was done with Thieves Town. Like, I had the mirror. If I could have honestly just delayed pod and done Thieves Town first, and then, like, if I was getting to the point of not finding anything, I could have always mirrored after pod and gone back into Eastern if I wanted to. But it's those little things you just think about as the race is going on, like, oh, I could have done this and maybe this would have been a little more efficient, but it's always tough to tell in the moment. Yeah,
looking forward to watching this one back and identifying some of the things that I could have done better.
Yeah, I'll be watching.
I regret not picking up the mirror shield. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll be watching it back too. I do not regret not picking up.
I mean, it'll be a good watch back, because you guys had such divergence in quite a few places, and then you're so close when you do your second dip of TR.
Yeah. I'm glad it was a good race. I started watching the clock around the 1:30 mark, expecting you to finish any moment. So I'm glad I got my sort of rule for myself when I'm on restream is if I have the big key and my opponent hasn't finished yet, I minimize the race room, and I'm just going to finish at that point no matter what.
Yeah, it's a good rule.
Yeah, I'm glad we put up a good show.
Yeah, same.
And do give both of these runners a follow. They did put on a great show for us, and it was nice of them to be on Restream here. And of course, they'll be doing more races in groups on their own streams. Most of these races in the group stage aren't getting restreamed, so if you want to follow their progress through groups, definitely give them a follow so you can see how they do in the remainder of their races.
Yeah, I've got 4 more to go still. I think Dr. Earworm was my first opponent. We did both of ours right in a row, so I still have to, I think it's Telminar and Aaron Snert I've got to still schedule against.
Yeah, and so good luck to both of you and the rest of groups here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for the restream.
Also, big thanks to our tracker, Lumaga, for being willing to jump into this. We cannot do a stream like this without a tracker, so we are very grateful. And Arya, nice working with you.
It was a pleasure, Drosy. Congratulations to both you guys. You were really impressive today. So best of luck in the rest of the pool play. I'm sure that you guys are going to do great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think that'll do it for us tonight. Obviously, do also give the SpeedGaming channels a follow here, SpeedGaming and SpeedGaming 2 through 6. We're going to be trying to feature one match a day here during groups, and then once we get to brackets, we'll try to feature more. So groups actually run all the way through, I think, August 5th. And there are 128 players, so we have a ton of matches all told. Join our Discord server as well if you want to keep up with the tournament in general. And yeah, let's see if we have a channel for tomorrow's restream yet. Yes, the next SpeedGaming restream for the Casual Boots tournament will be 2 p.m. tomorrow. On the main SpeedGaming channel, we have Gem versus Blaine, which is going to be a heck of a match. Two of the best Casual Boots runners out there.
Yeah, that's kind of unfair for a pool play match.
Well,
they got to do it twice, too.
Yeah, at least, you know, 2 people from each group advance so they're not in a zero-sum game with each other, though I feel bad for the other 2 people in that group.
Oh, that should be a great one, though.
But you definitely want to check that out tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks to our runners. Thanks, Arya. Thanks, Lumaga. And thank you all for watching.
Have a good night, everyone.